Stand by for the opening night of the National Television Service.
Action? You started recording 37 seconds ago.
Yeah, but I wasn't doing the button.
Yeah, she didn't say roll camera.
Yeah.
She said action.
You dumb bitch.
You fuck.
Hi, Julian.
It's like you didn't even pay attention in video production class.
I never took video production class.
Well, then, and look at you now.
Yeah, look at me now.
Mogul.
Which one of us did go to video production? No, don't make it's cringy when we say it out loud.
Yeah, one of us did.
Let it speak for itself. No, I snuck my way in there during homeroom. I just took a fucking 9th class.
Because one of us said, like, hey.
Is that how it went? I actually don't remember.
No, I actually, well, if you.
Oh, no, I
no,
missed
you
a
were
promo
doing.
for homeroom. I had him for homeroom. That's how it happened.
Did you flat? No, you had Tuggle for homeroom. You for sure had Tuggle for homeroom.
Oh, fuck. No, you're right. You're right. You're totally right. How the fuck did I end up in this
Because I
classroom?
pulled you
Did
in
you?
senior year.
All right, well, cheers to you, dog. Cheers to you.
I know
Respect.
that, but I forget, like, I actually don't remember, because you could have been doing stuff with Jacob as well. Like, you could have,
I don't remember.
I forget, because part of me thinks that you were maybe helping out with the Kang commentary stuff beforehand, but
Guys, this isn't entertaining to anyone. But
I'll have you know, we have one fan, who I'm going to talk about, and they went to high school with us. Okay, if we're going to go into this right now, it's not Sebastian. They commented, it's not, dude, it's a fucking, I don't know who the fuck it is. I just assumed it was Sebastian because they're subscribed to Sebastian. I was like, oh, it's like Sebastian's alt account. We don't know who the fuck Pooh Crafter is, but they watch all of our episodes within like 2 hours of them being uploaded, and they comment every time. It's fucking insane. It's a wild YouTube name. And like clearly, they went to high school with us for a significant amount of time. It's not Jesse or Levy because they would have just told us, or they'd like say who it was, right? It's not. My other thought is like Nick Callahan, but like no, like I appreciate it. Those comments aren't written like they're Nick Callahan. You know what I mean?
No, it's like it could.
Who the fuck? It's someone who subscribed to Sebastian and for some reason subscribed to us.
It's like someone who knows.
What's the crossover?
It's someone who knows both of us. Well, more you. Well, they've only called you out by name, so we definitely have to assume.
I don't know that that's true.
I don't know that that's true, but in my memory, okay, that's the saga of Pooh Crafter. Who is Pooh Crafter?
By the way, I never want to know who Pooh Crafter is. It's the most exciting part of this.
Well, that might make it bad, you know? Maybe it is.
Good.
Maybe it is just Nick, and he's like, "You guys, I thought you were watching all of my videos this whole time. I thought we were like S for S, bro."
But dude, Pooh Crafter? That's like a very silly name.
You think it's
That's
like,
why I thought it was Sebastian.
like Marco or Jeremy or one of the other like boys from that general
if it was
realm?
if it was Marco or Jeremy, they just like comment faggot or something. Like, you know what I mean? They'd comment just like a slur.
Yeah, you could have just said a slur, but yes. Yeah, no, they would. I agree. I agree for the yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm with you. Conceptually, I'm 100% there. I'm following you.
I didn't. It's fine. Yeah, no, it's fine. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. It's not Sebastian.
Who is it?
I don't know. We're not gonna be able to figure it out. They said that they weren't Sebastian, and it blew my mind. And
You know who would rate some shit like that?
Pooh Crafter?
It's fucking Sebastian. No, I don't think he would. Well, no, but he says I'm not Sebastian. So does he also know Sebastian?
He's subscribed to. I assume they're subscribed to Sebastian's YouTube channel.
So they told you that it wasn't Sebastian, but
I think it's like
tell you who they were.
Like Jaden or something like that.
Jaden.
Yeah. You gotta stop saying people's.
Oh fuck. Okay, I'll bleep out the last name.
Yeah, we said a couple, but okay. Well, regardless, we're not gonna figure out who it is, but we are.
Either way, you brought it up, and that was gonna be one of my topics. We have no idea who Pooh Crafter is, but it's very fun.
But
I very
we
much
have one
enjoy,
fan,
and we have no fucking no.
Okay, so
thoughts, Lily.
I don't know. I think it'd be fun to like have like a guest each episode, like who is like.
A guest.
Responds to,
a guest.
Yeah.
Okay, so I heard guest, and I was like,
no.
a guest.
Who is Pooh Crafter every
I don't want to know.
You just speculate every week and then you come back.
You're
You
like
don't
the
have to find
Joker,
out.
man. You're like, no, it would ruin it if I figured it out.
They're like the Chucklehead Productions version of the Unabomber. Like we're never gonna figure it out.
No,
It's
I
gonna
get
take
it,
us
but I'm
20
just saying,
years.
Wouldn't it be funny if you just like devolved into like more and more funny guesses, like a who's that Pokemon kind of style?
It's
You know,
Obama.
honestly,
Yeah.
if Jesse gets any more disheartened with mainstream culture, he's gonna be the fucking Chucklehead version of the Unabomber, man. I can totally see that guy going off into a cabin because he's like, fucking technology.
Dude,
It's a genocide of free ideas.
CNN's gonna get a manifesto and it's just gonna end with, but as long as I'm with my friends, we're like, guys, I think that's fucking Jesse. That's a joke for no one. Like, even Pooh Grafter won't get that joke.
No, it's
That's
like,
fucking dumb to
seriously,
say.
look at you, brother
dumb to say.
Kaczynski over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were talking about how you get like nervous before we do this, and you were like crying. No, but like
You were being a total bitch before we hit
you
the
were
record button.
like so upset. Your voice was like an octave and a half higher. You were like shrieking. Oh my god! But
I took a sedative before we started filming.
no, and I was thinking, well,
Sedative? Fuck.
it's only
Shut
funny
up.
because it was simultaneous.
Hey.
I wish we could do that every
Stop.
time. I
I
wish.
think it's because you just read it a lot, baby. It's okay.
Sedative?
It's spelled
Sedative?
like sedative. So
Sedative is
Just tell me which one it is. I don't remember.
It's sedative.
Sedative. Okay, continue.
But
Oh, no, it's
yeah.
because it's the word sedate. Anyways.
What I was gonna say when I was saying like, nah, man, like that is so lucky that you still feel like nervous before we film a thing like this, because to me that was just like the coolest memory in all of like theater, was being like super nervous. And I still get nervous before I like go up on stage in front of people. Like I'm not like a god. But like this, I don't feel as nervous for. I will say though, I do get that like pre-show excitement because you actually have it with like the lights and stuff. It's like the look really adds to it. So psychologically, the professionalism of the entire thing is giving me a little bit of that back, is what I was going to say. But my first point is that you acted like a huge bitch.
No, I just got this vision of like you're about to get hit by a car, and like rather than like deer in headlights, you're like, oh shit, I gotta perform. Like you start doing the can, and then you just get fucking hit. Like anytime someone
telling me-
like the police are like, have you been drinking tonight? You're like, fuck. you're like, who wants to be a millionaire? Like you just transport to like reality
You're telling me
TV.
you don't think the truck would just shatter against the magic of my dance, is what you're saying?
How many Julian Thompsons could stop a train? No, okay, we're gonna get into the Taylor Swift argument again.
Infinite. No. Okay, so
You're
what,
praising my nervousness.
no, that's all I had for you. That was my continue. You said, wait, save this for the show.
Oh, okay.
And
I thought you had
was
something more
okay.
fun.
So
It was the build up. It was the build up. Well, now I feel silly for having you
It was
save
because it was sincere.
It was yeah. Now it's just fake. We just fuck. I just smacked this microphone.
You know, it's okay.
Punch that shit, dude. Sock this. Who are you texting over there, Megan?
I wanted to see who texted me.
Oh,
Mrs. Popular. Okay.
Mrs. Pop.
Someone texts me every hour.
It's Madeline doesn't respond usually, so it's like really exciting when she responds. All she did is say cute to like the millions of messages that Malia sent. She's
Cute.
kind of a
Cute.
Intriguing.
So I have something.
I'd love something.
Fucking, I got something, brother.
Great.
So, what was it? So we had a popular TikTok video,
Oh, okay.
our only popular TikTok video, and to even call it popular is maybe a bit of a reach, but
Like 13 or I got 10,300 views.
10,300 views, and then we juiced her up a
Natural
little.
views.
Yeah, natural views.
So like 20,000 total.
And it was about. Should I rephrase the whole thing, or are you gonna? Would you?
Rephrase what thing?
Do I restate the whole like TikTok and the thing? Do I give context? Do I tell a whole
Yes,
like
give
story?
context.
Okay, so basically, it was about we were talking about this song that John Lennon and Yoko Ono wrote called "Woman is the blank of the world." I'll let you fill in the blank, or I'll let Zack fill in the blank. Your time to shine, buddy.
I'm good.
He's not going to fill in the blank. So women are the N blank of the world. And
Say N-word of the world.
N-word of the
There
world.
you go,
and we
dog.
were talking about
Jesus
it.
Christ. Learn how to communicate a little better.
Blank.
Jesus Christ.
You're like one of those guys.
The blank of the word, the N blank. The N-word, Julian.
Fuck. People got it after I said, okay. Fuck.
Maybe.
And I think that I was reading through the comments and I thought it was like hilarious. Some of these, and some of them, some of them taught us stuff. So I went through some of the top comments. There were a couple of themes that developed and I just wanted to make some like little responses. And we can all respond. What?
So your girlfriend, you're being very sincere and your girlfriend just started laughing at you. And I was like, oh, fuck, this is not going to be good.
What?
Like
Because-
when your number one like supporter
Because I'm
starts
standing-
like calling out on your.
Because I'm standing up to bullies online, Lily? Is that why?
She's trying not to make eye contact.
Are you a supporter of bullies?
She will not look up from the camera. This is awesome. No, it's literally, I was feeling it too, except it's worse because I have to pretend. But I'm going to call your ass out. You're not safe because you're off camera.
It's only because I know he prepared.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It didn't seem like it.
Zachary.
I'm fucking with
I
you.
didn't do it.
My man just poured himself a double. Dude. Dude, double on the rocks, heavy with the rocks. Look at this dude. That was great. All right, buddy. I am mean. I'm sorry.
Well, it's okay because I found a way to compensate for that.
You know what it is?
Anyway,
Anytime you go into something you've prepared for, it sounds like you're doing the no time app, and I think it just bothers me a little.
that bothers me. Hearing it expressed that way bothers me too.
But-
The No Time app is a skit that me and my other friend wrote in high school, and Zack performed with us.
God.
And we went to like Value Village, and we were like, Zack, get this suit. And it was
That suit was dog shit.
It was like the worst
Holy
thing
shit.
we could have got. It was.
But
my
it was
God.
like $40. So
It was
mint,
for sure
dog.
from Value Village. So, what was it? There were a couple of themes that developed across the comment. What?
No, I'm just a dick. Continue. I'm an asshole. Everyone knows it. Let me be an asshole by myself. Don't bring attention to it.
He's admiring you, Joe.
I'm admiring
Oh, come on.
your confidence. It's incredible.
Quote, "Hey idiots, the song is defending women. It says women all over the world are mistreated." Like,
You have the confidence of a charging gorilla.
Zachary, pay attention.
Okay.
that's the kind of confidence
Okay.
I have when I'm supporting intersectional politics.
Okay. So the first theme was that it's about women's rights. Continue.
So this is more of I prepared for a dialogue. I want
Okay,
you to
go
know
for it,
that.
go for it. Cool.
So, like, two things can be true is kind of the biggest, like, my biggest response to the comments is, like, two things can be true. Like, that's a wild way to go about it.
You know what I think the problem is, Julian?
What's the problem, Zach?
I'm not like I'm not like you know when you feel like you don't have a dog in a race?
Yeah.
I feel like right now we went into that so suddenly. I feel like I don't have a dog in the race. You know what I mean?
Okay,
so
you know
it's
what?
it's hard for me to like be passionate about it
build
because
to it.
right,
Because-
but I don't know how.
Okay, well here's more of a talking point. Here's one that I have like that stands on its own. I was billed to that. So my main kind of, or one of the big emotions that I was feeling was like everyone, and granted, we like hashtagged it like Beatles and Beatles love and stuff. So I feel like we were getting a lot of Beatles fans in the comments. Makes sense.
As per
But,
the
like,
goal.
It's one of those things where everyone's just like, come on, it was for the time, guy. Like, look, what, are you gonna hate on him because he's dead? Are you just trying to shit on this man's legacy? When I feel like that exact same group of people, if Amy Schumer said that exact same quote, would be like, ha, we got her. Checkmate, jail. So
So what do you think about rather than okay? So I think I figured out what the actual problem is. I feel like when we just talk about it, it feels like no. It's taking something that isn't that serious super seriously.
Oh,
and so
I've
so it's
actually
hard
just
to.
figured how I'm gonna complete my grocery list. So I'm gonna go do that for 5 minutes.
Hey guys, I got this job at a ghost kitchen. No. Okay, no, but seriously,
I thought
seriously,
of one
seriously.
the other day and I
Did
don't
you?
remember it.
Oh, that's a shame. I think when we like, I don't think this is an argument that we can win on the merits of the argument, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
In the sense that like, I think it's something that can't be taken that seriously. And so when we just like sit here and try to make like actual points about it, I don't think it's something like have actual points about. Do you want to go through and just read some of the top comments and we can just make fun of it and joke with it, or no?
I think
do you think
I
that's
agree
dumb?
Well, no, that's how I modeled it. So
Okay.
that's perfect. Let's do it. Let's just actually go through and react and see if we get anything.
Pull out your favorite, Julian, and then we
what's
can
my
talk about a
favorite?
specific one.
Oh, well, I actually
because we
there's
have
two.
so little to interact with.
There are people who just write in this way. That's like my favorite type of meme.
It's John
And it
Lennon
makes me
TikTok
laugh.
comments and Poo Crafter.
Exactly. I'm trying to.
I took a job at a ghost kitchen, and we have to use Mummy's toilet paper joke. No,
No, it doesn't make sense.
Julian, focus. I'm buying time. I'm dying over
Are
here.
you buying? It's
I'm
like
dying
buying
because you can't
time.
pull up a
Biding
TikTok,
time.
bro.
So I like.
Biting.
Was it our
Biding
most
time?
recent
Biding.
comment? Is you guys are so annoying. Period.
Yeah, but there's nothing
right
to
above
respond to
that
that.
is back then it was normal. Now stop being snowflakes.
Okay, that's one of my favorite comments.
Is- yeah,
is that it was normal for back then, right?
Yeah.
Because like by that merit, you can't say that anything that happened in the past was ever bad, so long as it was socially acceptable.
Yeah, right? Well, no, it sounds like, have you seen those like Prager, are you familiar with, I think it's called PragerU?
Yep, Prager University.
Yeah, so they're like these clips that I think have been accepted by like the Georgia Public School Board or something. And it's like Christopher Columbus, and his eyes are so blue, and his hair he's so Aryan, Christopher Columbus. And he's like, well, you have to consider what was acceptable at the time. Like, it is that subtly. And I was like, you have to remember, before you go judging people, you know,
He was an
what
Italian
would you have
dog.
done?
It's me, Mario.
And
you
then he's like, and then I punch the mushroom, and then I punch the persecuted person.
I'm pretty sure he's from Portugal.
Yeah, no, he's.
But either way, that is a very funny comment. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Um,
I like. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, nothing was bad ever because it was socially
Nothing was
acceptable.
bad because it was acceptable.
There you go. Yeah.
So like, it's
Flawed
fine.
argument. Next one. This is almost pathetic. I feel pathetic doing this, but fuck it. We're in this together,
He
Julian.
meant that they were the most marginalized, but laugh away, idiots.
Yeah, I understand that. Weird way to say it. Next comment. Like, yes, we get it. We understand what he was doing. We think it was a weird way to go about doing it.
I think that's a.
What are you
nuts way
laughing at?
To go. Well, it's like
My
that.
sister said something kind of like that. Like, if you actually listen to lyrics, like.
How about you actually listen about how he's saying that women are the N-words of the world? How about rather than... No, here's the funny thing about that, right? You say if you actually listen to what he's saying, which isn't what they're telling you to do. They're telling you to read between the lines. If you literally look at what he's saying, he's calling women the N-words of the world, and that's a wild thing to say.
Yeah.
So those exact words are very, very silly
So
to me.
it's like, to make a very serious appeal, I totally, like, he says things like, oh, the woman is the slave of the slave, which as far as, like, my understanding of, like, intersection, he's saying that you could interpret what he is saying as women, like even like black women have a unique bind that they go through just by being women. So it's like being a woman is like a unique caste in society. I get that, but it's like, have you ever had like people who are like, I don't believe in tipping. Like, I believe in the European system. They should just pay everyone. But then they like don't tip, and you're like, dude, like you gotta like you're still an asshole, you know? Like, you get what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yes.
So it's just like you. It feels like that same way. It's like, oh, I think they should make the lines move faster at Subway, but then you just cut to the front of the line. Like it doesn't justify the means. I think you're taking my analogy too seriously.
No. I have a very, I have a wild thought in my head, and I'm trying to like gauge. Fuck it, I'm just gonna say it. Well, I don't know what the last word should be. Hold on, I have to really.
I know what it shouldn't be.
No, it's not. No, I kept hearing you say women are the N-word of the world. And then I just had in my head like N-words are the women of like America or something. Like you turn it around. I don't know. I was trying to think of like I was trying to think of a good way to say it, and I was trying to figure out if there was a good way to say it,
like,
or even if it was a good thing to say. But,
it's like in this absurdist vein, I want to recognize that what you said was atypical and caught me off guard in a way that you might like misinterpret for laughter. But
was atypical? Is that what you just? That's
yes,
awesome.
And no,
N-word of the world, N-word to the women of the world.
No, you don't have to say it again.
But if you say,
I get it. The old switcheroo.
Hold on.
But
if you're saying, if John Lennon is saying that the two are the same, then they should theoretically agree with that same statement, right? Like if John Lennon is saying that the words are equal, right? And they're defending the statement that the words are equal.
He's not.
He's not?
Well, I mean, I don't want to like be like, no, that's not like I sound like a comment section right now.
No.
Do not pull up the lyrics.
It's
not on the show, but I just
we understand. No, we're not.
saying.
I think I just phased Jules. I shined a fucking light in his eyes, and he got ready to perform. What are you thinking,
That's
Julian?
my little jig.
Don't go to the comments.
I'm reading.
No. Dissect your thought process. I want your response verbally. What was your like? Why? Okay, no. But genuinely, why do you have a negative reaction to that statement? Because I don't think that they're saying. I don't think John Lennon is saying something crazier than that sentence, right? It's the same. It's relatively the same, right?
It's just. Let
Am I wrong?
Really,
if I'm wrong, let me know I'm wrong.
Just keep.
Not wrong.
It's very uncomfortable, but all these people are defending the other thing that should hypothetically be just as uncomfortable, right? So why is it so weird in the room right now, and yet there's like 1,000 people commenting on that TikTok saying that it's perfectly okay? All I did was switch the two things that are hypothetically used to describe each other, and all of a sudden shit's weird inside the room.
No. So
Then agree with me.
It's just
Why is it so quiet?
it's like
I'm right. No, wait. What was that? A Hannibal Buress joke? Or who does the Fuck, I can't think of it. Never mind. Oh no, maybe I'm thinking of the. But did you die? Anyways, dumb side. I very much want to know why it got so quiet.
The first thing, no, because I'm thinking, because it's like
Take time, think. I want verbiage.
my silence
I love to
is
do what?
not too.
People uncomfortable.
My silence is actually not personally to speak about how comfortable or uncomfortable I'm feeling right now. I think my first thing is that women is this like broader, more descriptive term that you would use. I don't want to say more descriptive, but like to switch the two things. I'm trying to think of like an appropriate analogy, but it's no, they don't. Like, first of all, no, they don't swap out perfectly. I was initially like, oh, because it was like again, absurd thoughts. But no, I think it's just because the two things don't swap evenly is the biggest thing.
Well, you know why they don't swap evenly?
Because of society's perceptions.
No,
just
because
like John Lennon was talking
the
about.
original statement doesn't make sense. It's because the original statement doesn't swap. The reason it feels weird to swap the two is because the original statement also doesn't make sense.
Well, no, the original. So okay, well now I feel like the original statement makes sense. It just makes sense in a ridiculous way. Yeah, just like how if it just like.
But hold on. Okay, can we?
Just like how if whenever you were referring to like the LGBTQ like plus groups, you just called them like queerbos, like it would still make sense, you know? It like it would still be phonetically accurate. There would still be a descriptive term that you're like, yeah, but it would be extreme and it would be kind of like insulting and demeaning, kind of like you know any other slur is.
So your argument essentially comes down to
it's a slur that doesn't doesn't hit the ear too bad.
He made it up.
It's not really. That's why I said it.
I kind of like it. Like, I'd like to identify as a queerbo.
Don't. I guess.
Honestly, I think we could sell that on a T-shirt.
No, don't. You
Queerbo?
don't. I guess Megan can't. Fuck.
Yeah, I'll only take 50%.
Oh, I've
of the profit.
inspired the wrong thing. What other topics did you have for
No.
today?
This is fun. To
No,
me.
it's not.
This is very fun.
Because whenever you say it's fun, it's like, no, let's really get to the bottom of this train thing. Like, it's not.
It's very fun. So if I'm understanding your point correctly, it's that the term woman isn't inherently a slur and the N-word is inherently a slur. That's essentially what your
Well, it's
argument
like-
comes
it's
down to.
also
And
the
you can't swap it because one's not a slur.
No, well, that's not what I'm saying. Like, yes, also, but more broadly, I feel like we use the term the N-word in a specific context for a specific group of people.
Do we? What context do we?
Well, I don't use it at all.
That's what you just said, Doug. You just
context.
brought us all in. You just brought us all into. We use the N-word
You know
in
what?
a very
It was a trap.
specific
We're moving on.
context.
We're moving on because
Against
this
a very
motherfucker-
specific group of
This
people.
motherfucker was like, "Oh, let's have a good faith conversation about my ideal." No, I really want you to hear it out. And the first thing I say, he's like, "Oh no, he's the bad one. Get him! Get him!"
Julian, the only reason I'm saying that is because it's just funny to hear you trip on your words so poorly because your morals are so high, right? And so being someone with such high morals, it
When
is
you say
funny to
high
hear you
morals,
Joe
that's
Biden yourself a
not
little.
right. I don't have high morals. I have
Yeah, you
specific
do.
morals in the right places.
Yeah, but you care a lot more
Well, I have
about
no
other
moral
people
for the guy who
than
cuts
I
me
do.
off. I'm still like,
You go out of your way to be a kinder person than I do.
oh, just no.
Lily.
Okay, maybe
She got me hard with that fucking why.
It's the difference between social politeness and genuine like.
I'm drinking water, dog. Point it that way.
Fine. It's social. It's social.
Why'd you switch to that? I'm sorry. Continue, Lily.
get that bitch drinking water.
It's just social.
This pussy needs to stay hydrated. Didn't hydrate before the show.
It's just social norms. It's just like the difference between like he'll always say like cheers after like the grocer hands him his receipt, whereas like
I say thanks.
no, I mean I think that's just, like,
You Canadian
not
cunt. No.
necessarily, or like I don't know. I think that Julian just like yeah, he's Canadian. He's polite. He just like I think that he does have a little bit more empathy on it, like an anxious level
Like in
sometimes, and I
brain.
think that I'm in a similar way. I think that.
You didn't have to defend yourself. I was giving you shit. It's okay.
No, but it doesn't.
I was trying to unpack it a little bit. I was
Trying to
say,
unpack it. Yeah.
No, it's just like sometimes like I think that like Julian just is always very self-conscious of what other people like are thinking about him and what's going on.
Unless you think I'm cute, then I'm okay with it.
What?
Keep talking, Jesus.
You sit with that.
Okay. I'll just.
She's like, you interrupted me for the last time, bitch. You sit there in your silence. So, anyways, Julian, you were talking about how we use the N-word in a very specific context. With a
Well, I
very
actually think
specific group of
you were just. No, we're not bringing it back to that discussion again.
No,
you already trapped me once.
we can skip that. Skip that.
That
Continue with your
conversation
point.
is my
Continue
whole
with your point.
Vietnam. Right now. And I'm like, motherfucker, I'm like afraid to walk out on my own lawn because I think there's gonna be like fucking pits beneath me.
Oh, Jesus.
No, you lead the discussion and I'll comment where I see appropriate. But no, I'm not finishing up my thoughts.
Julian, we all know you. It was just a mistake. It's okay. It was a happy little accident. It's okay.
Bob Ross video. Paint it away.
We can. I can edit it out if you want.
Paintbrush stroke.
Paintbrush stroke, just blur. Make it look way worse than it is. Oh, man. That's awesome. How much time are we in at? We're in at 29 minutes. This is a pinnacle moment, Julian. We have to decide. We're just bailing on the whole comment
something
section.
else.
It's so funny. That is so awesome. Okay, so we talked about God, I hate when I say that word so often. We talked about listening to old comedy records.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what the proper word would be. Reacting is probably the most accurate term because I don't want to use the word like mock or make fun of anymore because I grabbed one of the records and I don't know where I put it. I fucking lost it. I moved around the set a lot, but I don't know where the fuck it went. Nonetheless, I Googled the name of the album and the comedian that was on it just out of curiosity. It was from like 1965 or something. And I looked it up, and I didn't recognize his name or his face or anything, but I looked at his, not quite an IMDb, but like, you know, you get to go to Google, and it has like the movie tabs.
Like Lenny who, and then...
No.
Oh, I just found something really interesting.
Does it have anything to do with what I just said?
It's about that song.
You get that
Okay,
a lot.
God damn it,
you get
Megan.
A lot at dinner.
Jesus
I think
Christ.
when I found out what
Julian!
I found out
Oh,
what
no,
I wanted to
okay,
eat.
fine, Julian. Yes,
Anyways.
Megan. No, Megan, let's hear about the song. Yeah, go ahead and talk about the topic that Julian was trying to move away from. You motherfucker, Julian. We can go back to it. No, let's go back to it, Julian. Since what I said was so mean, yeah, let's go back to the thing you didn't want to talk about. By the way, what did you say we used in a very... No, okay, go, Megan.
Okay, the reason they wrote the song, Yoko Ono said that in an interview in 1968.
I think they read it somewhere, actually.
No, she said I could read it. It says it in... Oh, it's from James
The-
Crawford's grandmother says.
The interview that I saw with John Lennon...
Their eyes were watching God from a novel. I'm reading it backwards.
The interview that I saw with John Lennon, he specifically said that he read something, and then the sentence just stayed in his head, and he was like, "Women are the N-word of the world. Women are the N-word of the world." Like that's how he described it on the late night show, which is it's a very funny clip.
You
It's one of the
sent me
funny
that
audio.
Facebook
Yeah.
message, and he just
It's
says
the-
it like 4 times.
What, Megan?
Lennon was originally against the statement that Yoko made. So she made the statement in an interview based off a book or whatever.
I could say something sexist, but I won't.
1968, and then Lennon was kind of pissed about it, and then they wrote the song. I feel like it was probably to cover their reputation.
To cover the reputation?
Yeah, she said it. I don't know. It's just such a weird thing to say.
I'm telling you, they read it somewhere.
Yeah, from a book. I just said that.
Oh, okay. Well, a minute ago you said
Their
that
eyes were
Yoko Ono
watching
said it
God
in an
from a
interview.
novel.
Yeah, Yoko said it in an interview that she read it in a book.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Well,
Yoko said
okay.
it first is what her just main
Yeah.
synopsis.
No, yeah. That's the interview that I clipped in. He says in that interview. But yeah, the two funny sound bites are women are the N-word of the world. Women are the N-word. Women are the N-word. He just says it like 3 times. We're like, God, I just couldn't get it out of my head. Just the N-word was just in there. And then the other one was like, good news. You don't have to be black to be an N-word. Like that. Those are the
Good
two.
news.
Yeah, good news. You don't have to be black. Fucking wild.
John Lennon was like, and we got a bunch of comments too that were like, oh yeah, he hung out with the Black Panthers, and then it's just like he was definitely hanging out with them. Like, so how many days in the club do you think I get to say it? Is it like a
Jesus
like a
Christ.
30-day deal, or like more like 90 days? But I do get to say it in the end, right?
No, you're good. This is a weird episode. Very, very like
I didn't mean to step on your toes there.
Step on
I
my
was
toes?
just earlier. I was riffing
right there.
off of what
I was
Megan
trying to get away from the topic, Julie. Now you're
No,
going
you-
back into more
No,
comments.
talk about the comedy records.
Yeah, Lily.
I'm sorry. I totally interrupted, and that's on me. And I apologize.
You both brought it back. You equally both brought it back. And that's
And Julian almost went for his phone again. Did you see that? That was Julian was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, we got all these comments."
Oh wow, wild.
Yeah,
right?
Julian just had to go back to Vietnam. But nonetheless, I looked up one of the
Stay
names of
off
the
of the
records and the
horse.
comedian itself, and I didn't recognize him. But then I looked at the movies he was in, and it said he was an elf, and I was like, "Oh shit, what was he an elf?" And it was fucking Papa Elf from the movie Elf. I don't know his name. Do you know his name? See, you don't know his. Shut the fuck up.
He was on a TV show where he was a therapist.
Well, great. He was an actor. Congratulations. You don't know his name either, so you wouldn't recognize his comedy
To be
album.
fair, babe, I love you, but you. I love you, but who knew?
I think that might was. I think you might actually be right. Oh, Newhart.
I was so close. It was new something.
Levy would-
You were get out of here.
Lily, you did kind of say you don't know what's his name. I love you.
I'm
babe.
sorry, but he was on a few other things.
You fucking
No, I
idiot.
believe your hipster reflex kicked in.
He was
No, if you laugh, then it's like we're bullying.
Do you feel bullied, Lily?
No.
Then shut the fuck up, Julian. We're having fun. Jesus Christ, we make fun of each other. Relax.
That's a cute way you said lovely.
Okay.
Did I? So my mouth's very dry right now. I keep down in water, but it's not helping. I'm not. That's gonna make it more dry, dog. You trust me. You need that after that crazy shit you said earlier about the N-word. Oh my god, that's my favorite day ever. So I want to introduce it as something where it's more of like we have to acknowledge in some way that there's a generational gap that's going to make us come off as, I don't remember if it's ignorant or arrogant. I think it's ignorant we're gonna sound ignorant to a certain extent.
Well,
but
unless we're gonna
if
say,
we
"Oh,
own
we're
that,
so much better than these old fucks," then that's
no.
arrogant.
It's not appreciating.
Yes.
It's making fun of something that was
The
valuable in its time,
The
right?
semantics are too intense to overcome in some scenarios where it's like, where in some ways it's like we're all like kids in health class where it's like we just don't use those terms, so we're kind of like uncomfortable by
No,
them.
not. I'm not even talking about like weird, like bad words or something. I'm talking about like, these are the people that were successful in their own. Are you raising your hand?
I was going to, but I was letting you finish your sentence.
Okay.
I stopped raising it. Closed my hand.
These are people that were successful in their own right, in their own time, and I don't think it's entirely. It'll come off as fucking stupid kids if we just make fun of old people for being awesome when it was awesome to be what they were being back then. Does that make
Yes.
sense? Although, okay, continue.
I think that you could do the opposite and just try to figure out what made them popular, like analyze that. If you're willing to do that, I think that would be really
That could be educational. I think it could also be. I don't think we'll have as much fun doing that
good. Fair enough.
unless you think that's
you could
something.
make
No,
it
I
funny,
think-
but I think that anything's possible.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't think that if we make jokes about something in a silly manner, there's not really like a wrong answer. I think the chances of us coming close to like psychoanalyzing what made a comedian popular in the like 60s and 70s, what the fuck do we know? You know?
Psychoanalyzing isn't necessarily what I'm talking about. Like, it's something that's very, very, very popular. Like on YouTube right now is like deep dives and people being funny and just explaining like whole entire TV shows. So
Right,
go
but
through a set, like a couple of jokes in an older set and be like, what made this so funny?
Plus, I'm sure a lot of it is just like
Can I respond to that really quick? There's a difference between us sitting here and making stuff up on the spot and then someone like sitting down and researching for like 12 hours. They have something to say about it.
Fair enough.
I was gonna say in some contexts, I think in entertainment we're appropriate, you know, because there's some things where it's like it's simply about checking a number, like, oh, how many tickets did they sell? How much did they charge? And there's some things where it's like an Entertainment Weekly article is like, oh, why was Bob Newhart so popular? It's like, oh, like something about where he started and he gained a particular following this way, and then he kept that following throughout this period, and then he got this opportunity. Like, these aren't super, you know, research-intensive things to check. There's no argument. Basically, whenever you want to check something and say something with the authority that you researched it, then check it. But otherwise, fuck all. So, I'm sorry, did you have a greater point behind... Did you have a point behind, like...
What I was saying, yes.
Yes. So, like...
Do you want me to repeat it?
No. It's like, in the sense of, you're saying that we are going to look like stupid kids because we don't have this historical context. We're literally just not living in the time period that these, like, you know, you can call them great figures if you want to, like great men, or you can, you know, just whatever, these super popular comedians we're living in. We don't come from their time around. So are you asking for, like, are you just saying like disclaimer as we judge these things and then we judge them as we will? Or are you saying that we employ some kind of methodology or mindset going into it that is like going to solve a little bit for the fact that we didn't grow up during that time?
It was just a disclaimer because last time when I brought up the idea, I was like, "Oh, dude, we should like make fun of these fucking records." And then I started looking into it. I was like, "Man, we could look really stupid for just like making fun of it." So it was much
We're
more
gonna
of
get
a
more of the
disclaimer.
John Lennon commenters.
Yeah, except I think that point would have more merit to it than the
Yeah.
John Lennon commenters.
I agree.
Oh, so do you? How much time we have 20 minutes left. I also had. I looked up a little bit of that record and I listened to some of it. And it was very slow, and I don't know if all of it's going to be slow, but I almost feel like this is a bad idea in the sense of that it's not going to work. But we could still go ahead and try to do it. This episode's already fucking weird. We could try it.
Yeah.
And just if it bombs, it bombs.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were gonna try it regardless. Like, I figured we were gonna go into it. I thought we were gonna do the full hour here. And then go
So
into
we're
it
not
there.
we're not doing a different show. We are trying it on this.
Oh, we're trying it on this
seeing
show.
if
Gotcha.
it works,
Okay.
and then if it works, then it can be its own thing.
Roger that.
But
Roger that.
I feel like it might not. Okay, so we'll just cut to having the record player out
You little fuck.
and only cut.
All right,
fuck.
we're having a good time. Welcome back to Easy Listening, everybody.
That's not what it's called.
It's totally what it's called.
Well, one of us types the title into YouTube. So, Lily, you want to give us a rundown on
This
Father
episode
Guido?
of Easy Listening?
Well, I'll only say that Father
Say
Guido-
what you know. None of us really know. Like,
That's all I was gonna say was all I know.
oh, okay, sick.
All I was gonna say was all I know is that
All I
from
know
what
is
I
all I know.
remember, he was a character on SNL during Weekend Update. He was pretty fun, pretty chill priest. Anyways, go on.
Julian, how do you feel about the album art? You like it?
I mean, he's smoking an ambiguous cigarette in the album cover, as was permissible in what year is this?
I think 19. Well, the back says 1980, but that doesn't
Oh,
necessarily.
1980. Okay, then. Well, fair enough.
We'll say early 80s.
Well, at least that copy was
But
pressed.
if we
in
Google
the
it, I think it's
80s.
83.
I'm
Okay.
looking up it says live at St. Douglas.
Yeah.
It's also it
Convent.
says it's at a convent, so I don't think.
Convent? Oh, shit.
My first
There it is.
impression is he's got kind of like a Snoop Dogg thing going on. a
Oh,
little bit.
yeah. He kind of does have a. He has a.
He's like, I just see that face
Nailed
that
it.
smile handing me a joint. And
You
I'm
know
like,
who he
man.
looks like to me? Joe Camel.
He does kind of look like Joe Camel. I totally get that.
I don't know who that is either.
He's like the cigarette mascot for Camel.
cigarettes.
I don't really.
They got rid of him because he was like he made smoking seem cool and fun to children.
It might be scratched. We're gonna find out. Hit me.
Hook up your needle.
Oh, will it?
It just says
Whatever.
released in 1980. I'm not finding the.
You know what the most? 20. Never mind.
Now we're gonna get some records.
How the fuck do we? No, Joe, keep it in front of your face. This is very loud.
With the needle drop.
Gotta get the needle drop, man. People
add it in post, dog.
That's not the same. That's not the high five.
It's literally probably better.
Someone recorded it with a better microphone.
You know what? They probably didn't actually. I'm gonna make some fucked up TikToks with everything that you've said this episode, Julian. I swear to God. Oh shit.
Yeah, see, it wasn't loud.
No, it wasn't. Motherfucker, give me a second.
Sisters, please welcome all the way from Rome.
Gotta get that crackle.
The gossip columnist for the Vatican newspaper, Father Guido Sarducci.
It's wonderful to be here at the St. Douglas College Convent. You have a lovely, lovely school here.
Very nice.
Personally, I never liked the school.
You
too
could
much.
talk over it, Julian. That's the whole point. Is to not
I
just hear and
went to
listen. So if you have
Latin.
something.
I studied with these fellows Jesuits for quite a few years, and I almost finished with them, but something happened just towards the end. I don't want to get into it, but after I got kicked out of there, I went into this school. It's a wonderful seminary. It's called Gregorian Seminary in Rome. It was named after the very famous chant of the same name. Some people, they say the chant was a name for the school. I don't know. It's like, what came first, the chicken or the egg, And then,
Hold on. He just got a laugh off of, you know how they say what became first, chicken or egg? Dude, that got a laugh. That was very fun. No, that was very funny. It's funny what gets like obviously he hasn't said or maybe I shouldn't say he hasn't said a punchline. He hasn't said like a I don't think he is a Gus Butcher. But the fact that you know how they say what came first, the chicken or the egg, is the fact that got a laugh is very silly.
You know how they say I hate Mondays.
No, exactly. You know what's gonna be interesting? We're gonna see like the birthplace of a bunch of just like common shit that people say. You know?
The sad thing is, I'm just in my head. It's just Borat. It's a shame that this is an audio.
I was actually curious if that accent real.
Comedy is
it's fake. Is he okay? It was okay. Yeah, it is kind of you know how they say my boss makes $1, I make dime. That's why I poop on company time. Yeah, and then like everyone.
Sound like
Yeah.
evil Kermit, Zachary.
Kermit you know how they say.
Evil Kermit.
Evil Kermit's very funny, but let's not go on too many tangents. I want to hear what Julian has to say. But I might have totally fucked up and like bumped it, so we might go down in a totally random spot. I'm learning.
You can't push pause?
I don't think that's how a phone. What do you call this thing?
It's a record player.
No. Like this says
People-
this is phono. So this
Thomas
is like a more
Edison
fancy
invented
word, right?
it. Thomas Edison invented it, and someone was like, "You can't push pause."
The original,
I like that.
One. You don't have
the
any
original
control.
kind is called a phonograph. So that's
Phonograph. Okay.
phono. So no, he doesn't
You
have a
can't
smart
hit
one where the arm
pause.
lifts up. It looks like.
I thought he had a smart one. I'm not stupid. Okay.
No, some of them like mine.
know that
you
they
can
don't
lift.
normally
You
do
think
that.
this guy is a
Fuck you,
smart
Jay.
anything?
Fuck you.
Fuck out of
I
here!
will say your record player is mid.
I got it on discount.
Yeah,
it's
it's also
50%
just
off.
a shit record player.
That made me think of the. Well, God, Orville, they're gonna have to wait for a bit. Might as well not even make this fucking.
Do you hear? They make you wait for
At
a
the
little
airport.
bit. You have 45. Yeah,
Anyways,
let's not revel in that.
And then Vatican sent me to this school, let's call it the Marconi School of Broadcasting. I went to the Reggio Calabria branch. That's the best branch. You're from a Reggio? Are
No.
you really? Amazing. Reggio alto or basso? You know, basso, Reggio basso. Then you know school. She knows my school.
She knows my school.
Did you?
I don't know. It honestly,
You know, it is.
it sounds like he's just making shit up like as he goes.
It doesn't really feel like he's saying anything. Whoa, what just happened?
It's fine.
Well, that's the interesting thing.
Is that me?
No.
Celebrate mistakes.
Why not?
I don't know. This is one of those things where I feel like he is saying something that's just going over our heads because we don't have the context.
Well,
it's like we don't have the
Catholic nuns or something?
I think
What I
he's
was-
just making a lot of Catholic jokes.
I was gonna say, I think it's
That record
interesting
Catholic.
because he is making Catholic jokes for Catholics. You said, right? You said this is in front of an audience of nuns.
I don't know. I think
I'm
that might be
almost
a
positive.
joke. Like, I think that might be a joke, though.
Look
It
at
says
the back of the record. There's like nuns.
Yeah, I
So-
know, but I think it's a parody record. Like, he's doing a character.
So part of me thinks that, like, I was saying that I think it's interesting the things that were super prevalent that we're gonna like miss out on, because there was a lot of stuff like in the I guess this is in the 80s, people tended to be less secular and more religious, so there was probably like more people grew up saying grace before every meal. That was more considered the proper thing to do that you do around guests, where now I feel like, I mean, maybe my family's just a little more like atheist, but I feel like it's less popular to like have everyone go around and like I feel like religious like extremism is less popular now. Well, so I feel like in the
He's buying time, Lily.
More comments.
more you think religious extremism is less popular now is too broad of a statement. That's probably fair to say. I never mean to disenfranchise anyone who's got under like the boot of these things. I just mean like speaking very broadly, you have less moderate families, fewer moderate families saying like, little religious things. Basically, religion is less in our zeitgeist than it was right now, and I think that maybe makes it more popular.
You're a legend.
Go there. You know, it is a co-ed now. Just the last couple of years, it's a co-ed. I find the education, though, I think it don't matter where you go to school. Italy, America, Brazil, Costa Rica, it's all the same. It's all just a memorization. And it don't matter how long you can remember anything, just so you can parrot it back for the test. And I got this idea for a school I would like to start. Something called the 5-Minute University. And the idea is that in 5 minutes, you learn what the average college graduate remembers 5 years after he or she's out of school.
School sucks.
It costs like $20.
Modern testing is not effective.
$20 just for 5 minutes. But that's for like a tuition, cap and a gown rental, graduation picture, snacks, everything included. Actually, it's not the 5 minutes of school. About 1.5 minutes is taking up registering. And then it's really about the 2 minutes of school. You know, it's like in college. You have to take a foreign language. Well, at the 5-minute university, you can have your choice. Any language you want, you can pick it. Say if you want to take Spanish, what I teach you is ¿Cómo está usted? That means, how are you? And the response is muy bien. It means very well. And believe me, if you took 2 years of college Spanish, 5 years after you're out of school, ¿Cómo está usted? Muy bien. It's about all you're going to remember.
Modern testing doesn't work.
I feel like that's one of those things. That's one of those things though where I think
He was the first one to say it.
I'm not gonna say he was the first one to say it, but like he hadn't been exposed to. The reason I think of statements like that as being maybe a little like cringy is because I was exposed to them by people who were like not like you know, like people who were doing a bunch of drugs outside of school. Like it wasn't like the people who were trying really hard being like, hey, I feel like they should have adjusted the curve differently. Like those people just flying by. But like
No, he was the first one to say it, and then it slowly got picked up by a bunch of losers.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
now you associate it with a bunch of like,
And now you
hey man, you know modern testing doesn't really
hey
work,
man, you know, it doesn't even like matter that I didn't show up for the test, man, because testing is like authoritarianism. But like, yeah, okay. No.
And
It's
Father
a legit argument though that like
Father Guido was doing it before any of us.
That is a legit.
Guido's not racial, right? What's Guido mean? It sounds like a Star Wars character.
I believe
it is a Star Wars character.
Greedo is a Star Wars character. Guido, I think it's like a mild slur for like an Italian American.
Oh, you're totally right. It's in Italian. We're fine. I looked it up. I'm 2%.
Yeah.
Oh, no, 2%. No, I'm 2% Spanish. Fuck, I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Italians are doing fine, Lily.
You're full of the gabagool, is what I'm saying. All right.
Guido is. You're totally right. No, yeah.
Yeah, but the point is, I feel like to your disclaimer about us coming across as young kids, that's definitely one of the ones where it's like, oh yeah, it sounds obvious, but like I really wonder how obvious it was. Like how much thinking did he have to do to put those words in that order to make it make sense in that exact way?
Yeah.
How long ago was the 80s again?
Are you serious?
40 years.
40 years. So within 40 years we still have shitty standardized testing?
Oh yeah.
Megan, we've had bigger problems since like the dawn of civilization.
Well, the 90s was pretty chill.
The 90s was
Could've
not
figured
very
it out.
chill.
Well, that's like saying, wait, so
90s
you're saying
was
that
what led
rich
up to-
people have always pulled the strings and continue to do so, and we're just now saying something like,
That's
no.
what I'm saying.
Telling me that poor people fight to the death for the honor of rich people
Yeah, they do.
with swords. But yes, tests still
Kinda
suck.
sad.
Yeah,
It's
it's sad.
It's sad.
But Father Guido noticed before any of us.
Time with the conjugations, vocabulary, all that junk. Just forget it.
You know what this kind of makes me think of? I feel like modern day comedy is like it's supposed to be silent laugh, whereas this feels much more like sitting there and smiling and like giggling along the way. It feels
I don't know if I would attribute that to I might attribute that to an individualistic style choice right off the bat.
That's
I
very
think-
fair. That's
I
very
think
fair.
there's a bunch of comedians out there today who are more like laugh along with me as I do the thing and
like
as
you
I
just,
build
you just
to
like
the point.
them. They're such a likable person.
You
that
just like them
enjoy.
and they're a good storyteller.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, what is it? Like, Bert Kreischer is like one of the, I feel like we've talked about him before, but like he's one of the more optimal examples for me where it's like he's more about the storytelling, but he's also kind of like a funny personality. So it's like he has the right stories down, but it's also like just to kind of hear him talk is kind of baseline entertaining.
We'll have to listen to more older records because I would feel I can't think of a modern comedian that's like that you sit along, smile, and kind of giggle with. I feel like modern comedy is much more boom, 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 whereas this feels like you're smiling. You know?
I can think of a couple like Dimitri Martin and Mike Birbiglia. These are comics that
Mike Birbiglia makes me laugh out loud.
Yeah, Mike Birbiglia.
Dude, him
makes
wiping
me
his
laugh out loud,
ass
but he kinda, like,
with an
leads
apple
you up
fritter.
to it. He kind of gives you a little bit of like, I don't know.
I haven't listened to his modern stuff.
Fair.
I listened to him on Pandora a lot in high school.
Mike Birbiglia is a really
He's coming to Seattle pretty soon.
I go see Mike Birbiglia.
He has such a fun last name.
But Lily would also we'd all do Mike. To bring it up later. But yeah, no, I would be interested to listen to like, well, because part of me is now thinking that maybe performance art was a little less. Maybe performance art was a little more likely to be either recorded on records and then put in the category of spoken words. So it was like one big genre. Because like, for example, when you think about like performances where you're maybe more meant to be entertained, I would think my first thought is like a drag show or something like that, where it's like they are making jokes and they're being funny, but you're not necessarily supposed to be like falling out of your chair laughing. You're just supposed to be entertained. And then they are funny enough and entertaining enough and good enough talkers to move along to their next point. And sometimes that point might be like a variety show or something like that. So,
Like an MC.
like an MC kind of, but like basically there are different varieties of this like MC figure.
Is it? I just either that doesn't make sense or I don't know what a drag show. And granted, I've never been to a drag show, so I don't know. Like I mean, the way you just, I don't know. When I listen to this, I do not think of a drag show or like the timing of a drag show or like the comedic value of a drag show.
No, because
is that what you were saying?
Yeah, well, I was just saying in the sense that, like, I think when you say an event that is usually funny, but that isn't, like, gut-busting, like, punchline, set up punchline, set up punchline, set up punchline, I think of something more like a drag show. You could branch off it. Like, Megan, you make a good point. Like, a lot of other types of MC work are going to do this kind of thing, but drag show is just the first one that happened to come to mind. We should go to a drag show sometime. It'd be interesting to see.
I'm good.
Why?
I'm just not into it.
I don't know how much time is left on the.
I'm gonna press you. No.
We should play more if we want to keep going.
We're so suddenly we're pressed for time.
We're not pressed for time. I just didn't know. I know you had a clean hour, so I wanted a clean hour. So I was saying if you wanted to.
We're chilling. That's fine. I think you missed my point though. I wasn't like. I wasn't trying to compare it to like performance art pieces. I was comparing it to like just modern day comedy, just like the difference between like what is understood to be a killer stand up special now versus back then. Like this was on, or this gentleman was on SNL, right? And so if a comedian released something that had people, smiling and giggling along like
when
this
do you think
now,
Mr. Beast is going to be on SNL? Do you think he'll ever do it? Do you think that'll ever happen? I can see that happening in the next 2 years. That's my hot take of the night. Mr. Beast, next 2 years, Mr. Beast is going to be on SNL. He's going to host.
I feel like it's always a comedian, an actor, or it's like a controversial figure. I don't think that he's controversial or an actor.
I don't think it has to be a controversial figure. Do you have any
To be
other
fair,
examples
I don't watch
controversial
enough
figures
Elon
besides
Musk.
Donald Trump? Okay, fair enough. Huh?
That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah. No, I guess I just think of it as like
someone that'd be like, that'd be outrageous. Like that'd be hilarious. It's funny because it's like, the word outrageous isn't proper. It's funny. It's funny in the same way that it's funny to see a character get displayed on South Park. You know what I mean?
just where it's like there is a borderline humor to it. Or there's a baseline humor to it where it's just like South Park makes people wacky, so it's like even if it's someone who you like, who they weren't even trying to like lampoon or like roast or anything, they it's still like a figure who is like it's just like baseline funny. Just to see them do their take.
I don't know how to describe it. Let's just go back into Father Guido.
But anyway, what's the difference? Economics, supply and demand. That's it. That's it. Business is you buy something and you sell it for more. Theology, I'm going to have, a little theology department. It's only right that since I'm a priest. And what you have to learn in theology is the answer to the question, where is God? God is everywhere. That's right. Party line. God bless you. Do you know why? Because he likes you. That's a kind of a combination of the Disney and Roman Catholic philosophies, Well, after the course...
Let's try to.
I
What
think I like-
what was funny about that?
So I was gonna say that's kind of the first one
Comparing
that
to
got
Disney?
me.
Okay, explain it to me.
Because my first thought was he's like, that's a line between the Disney and Roman Catholic interpretation. I want to see where he goes with it, but a lot of slightly older stand-up comedy, you'll see comedians kind of skirting the line because you couldn't say outright, like, we take for granted the past 10, 20, 30 years, you could say outright the Catholic Church is bullshit. But, like, I feel like more historically comedians are trying to like work around, so he's saying like that's the Disney approach, and he means to say that it's not real and it's a fairy tale, and that it's kind of like that, oh, God loves you, that they're telling you a fairy tale just like Disney does to sell you movie tickets. But because he's, doing this 40, 45 years ago, he can't quite outright say it. So I want to see where he goes, because maybe I'll eat my words in a second.
No time to go to Fort Lauderdale, though.
It's also just because the Roman Catholic Church is like the Catholicism in general is heavily reliant on guilt as a means of persuasion for faith and doing the right thing, whereas like other sections of Christianity, like Protestants, are more like
They get at what really matters, like dancing.
well, yeah, and they're less guilty and more of the like Jesus loves you, God loves you kind of way.
Yeah.
So it's different modes of enforcing religion.
No time to go to Fort Lauderdale, though. It only lasts for like 20 seconds. But what I do is, I turn on the spotlight, the sun lamp for you, and you can sit there, get some rays. I give you a little glass of orange juice. That's the snack part, orange juice. And then, after Easter vacation, it's
I'm
time
ashamed
for
that
the
that made me
final
giggle.
exams. I say to you, ¿Cómo está usted? You say, muy bien. Very good. Where is God? Economics? Hey, wonderful. Well, if you was there now, I would bring out of the cap and gown, put it on you. I'd bring out of my camera, make a little snap, flashy picture. I would give you the picture, you give me $20. I give you a diploma, and you're college graduate, ready to go.
Okay, so two things.
I don't know what.
So number one, I think it's very funny how he starts off the bit. He's like, you give me $20, and he's like, no, that's fair. When it's like, I feel like legitimately today, like an online 5-minute course that gave you a fake diploma would cost $20. Like, I feel like I feel like he's saying $20 is like, oh, that's a lot, to pay for school that normally costs $500. So I just think that's a funny, thing that has aged. And the second thing is, I think we were judging his bit a little bit too early, because as he builds into the later points, actually he starts to put it all together into more of a bit where I guess this is where we're missing out on the actual sitting in theater and being forced to pay attention to this person aspect. But I think as he actually builds into it and he has that call and response, the audience repeating it como está muy bien, and building into economic supply and demand, going through that, I think it becomes funnier as you complete the bit,
So
as
maybe
opposed
we
to
try to
being
listen to it bit by
front-loaded
bit.
in its humor, or it is being, maybe we should listen to it bit by bit. Are they marked?
There are marks. I don't know what it means.
The wider marks are the separations between songs, and i.e. the bits.
The wider marks.
So are there slightly?
Do you want me to help?
Are you talking about the lines?
Yeah, the grooves. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I understand. There's some sections are bigger and smaller, and so when you said bigger, I thought that didn't make sense to me.
The
Yeah, cool.
wider grooves are the separations between the songs.
I understand that. No, yeah. There's longer songs and shorter songs, and so when you said wider, I interpreted that as the longer.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
The gap.
So
Does
okay,
it have
so
both an A and a B side?
I think most records do. Yeah.
No, I figure. Well,
Unless it's an art record.
It's free real estate. Funny? No. Okay.
that's
Okay. So this is basically the end.
I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure. Right next door to the 5-minute university, I might have opened up a little law school. You know, you got another minute? Why not?
I thought it was funny.
I don't know what it would cost. You know, what I'm going to charge you for that? Maybe $6. That seems reasonable. I make a little money like that. I don't know what I'll make, how much, but...
Megan, will you look up how much
every
$6
dollar
was in
counts for
1980?
me. You know, I don't make hardly any money being a priest. We just make peanuts.
It's a
What
new
they
bit.
give me don't even cover my tips. And I make some
Actually,
money from
here,
this
I'm gonna be a bit of a
poker.
dick. I see a shorter one. I'm gonna go to the short bit, okay? And so let's try. So we're gonna have to figure this out. We're gonna have to figure this out as we go. Let's listen to the whole bit, and then comment on it. Unless you have like something.
no,
really
that's
stands
fair.
out.
I mean, yeah. We might as well.
Nail this bitch. Oh, you have something to say?
My
I'm about to slam
instinct is going to we might as well do the whole record, but if we're
$6 was $22.
it. Oh, so that was about $80 for the other one.
yeah.
Say it again, Megan. Oh,
Well, that just that speaks to the fact that inflation for some things has risen so much faster than inflation for other things. No, part of me is thinking that we should just listen to the whole record and not skip around. But
That is stealing. You can't do that. You have to comment on it. Otherwise, it's just
No, not
re-uploading
listen.
someone else's record.
no, I mean listen to we shouldn't skip around. I don't really.
We
care.
don't have the time to do that.
All right.
That'll be too long of an episode. And so I agree.
going.
We will figure it out as we go. But in this scenario, we're just gonna slam.
I'm
it.
with you.
You New American Saints. All in the last 5 years or so. The first
I'm gonna put this here just in case we get a record scratch.
now, huh? Quite a few New American Saints. All in the last 5 years or so. The first one,
That sounded important. God, I suck at this.
Doreen. The Virgin Junkies. You know, the ones in the holy cards always wearing the pedal pushers, tease the hair. They have been given full assistant responsibility for 3.2% beer and Quaaludes. So, you know, if any of you have any trouble with those drugs, you know who to direct your prayers to. You have quite a few American patron saints now, huh? Quite a few new American saints. All in the last 5 years or so. The first one, her name was Saint Anne Seton. And there's a lot of people still real upset at the Vatican about that. You see, to become a saint in the Catholic Church, you have to be able to prove 4 miracles. That's the rules. It's been the rule for hundreds of years. But this Saint Anne Seton, they could only prove 3 miracles. But the Pope, he just waived the 4th one. Just waived it. And you know why? It's because she was American. What do you mean, yeah? We got some Italian people. They got 40, 50, 60, 70 miracles to their names. They can't get in just because they say, you know, already too many Italian saints. And this is Saint Anne Seton, American. 3 lousy miracles. I understand 2 of them was card tricks. Next thing you know, they're going to be making the Amazing Kreskin Saint. Saint Amazing Kreskin, they'll probably call him. Well, my only fear is that my books are going to be out of date.
I figured out an easier way to turn it off. I feel, man.
My only fear
This makes me feel
is
dumb.
my wife. I can't help it.
I thought that one wasn't bad. He was essentially just. I mean, it was essentially just right. An American saint requires one less saint, or it requires one less miracle because, well, I think the joke he was making is that it's all bullshit, but inherently because the Catholic Church wants there to be more saints in America because they can spread their influence over here.
I feel like that's more of an example of, I think he's just being funny with it. Like, I don't actually, like, for example, as opposed to the first joke that we listened to where it's like, I feel like he's actually got, like, a point behind it. He's got a point about American education and university education that he wants to get at. I feel like in this next one, it's more just like, isn't that silly that we had someone accepted as an American? I don't think he's trying to make, like, the greater point that Catholics want to gain more popularity in America, so they're, you know, so they're having an American saint come in to gain more legitimacy within the region.
Right.
I think
but that is probably why the Pope did that.
That is probably why the Pope did, but that's all me. I mean, that's all me. No, but like, I feel like he doesn't allude to that heavily. He's more just like having fun with the like. Like I feel like
he's getting the crowd to cheer.
We got Italians. We got 50, 60, 70 miracles in America. 3.
Can I tell you what it sounded like to me?
Sure.
It reminded me of one of those jokes that people like to make about how, like, if you're a person of color, it's easier for you to get into college because they want more people of color to go to college, right? That's what it reminded me of, is like they wanted more Americans to be, what are they, saints?
Yeah.
Saints, yeah. Which is one of the points I was making, but I think Julian's probably right that was like, maybe it's an undertone, but maybe that's only an undertone that gets picked up in 2023. Maybe he wasn't thinking about that at all. But I think the joke was much more leaning towards the, it's been, for hundreds and hundreds of years, it's taken 4 miracles to become a saint, but the Pope just brushed it off. Three miracles is enough. I think that was mostly the joke of just he was calling it bullshit again. But yeah, no, I had very similar thoughts. I think that's going to be the end of the record thing for now. How can we improve that? Do you think it was better to listen to the full bit rather than?
I personally, I don't mind it being the end for now. I feel like I would want a greater sample size in general before making like a huge judgment. We could do one now, or could do one later. Or like that's
do one now what, or do one now later?
I feel like we've only looked at 2 bits, so when you say what could we have done to improve that, I'm not sure how to broadly prescribe a remedy because I feel like we haven't touched on enough bits yet. Like we just haven't done enough of it. Like,
something's missing. It's too clunky of a. It's too clunky of a
I think
segment
we need to try
idea.
it out.
Show
No,
idea.
I mean,
something.
I think I'm again not saying we have to do it now, but I think the whole premise, it's like this show is clunky for whole episodes, but it's like that doesn't matter. The point is that we like continue to do it and persevere through it, and eventually we'll get to like the nuggets that matter and get into a better rhythm to get to those nuggets easier. That being
but we
said,
have to talk about it to figure out how to do it. So I'm asking you, let's talk about it and figure out how to do it. Like yes, you are correct.
So I'm saying I don't have enough data to form a meaningful conversation on my end. When you say what could improve that bit, what do you think? You start us off, and I'll go off of it.
I think listening to the full segment or the full fuck do you call it, bit? What do they call it on here? Track? Is that what you call it? A track? I think listening to the full track is probably the better way to go, because I think that I think interrupting stand-up in general probably isn't very good. But it's also like maybe there just isn't that much to comment on it. Maybe it's just a bad idea. Like it sounds fun to like listen to old comedy records and like make comments about it, but like at the end, like after you listen to it, it's like I half the time I don't really have much to say. It's just
I don't think this is a good record. Can we just throw that out there? You guys should try with a different record.
I guess that is a fair possibility as well.
Like this isn't very funny to me.
We could try a sincere listen of records that we know that will be good, like George Carlin's records, and start off, because I actually haven't listened to those full albums, especially not audio
that could be interesting.
So that could
does that feel
that
more?
Could give us a baseline.
Does that feel more sacrilegious though? I feel like
it's sacrilegious if we don't have any reverence. And I'm sorry, baby, you had something to say. But it's sacrilegious if we don't have any reverence. But like honestly, it's just like I think we've been approaching it in a fine way. I think it's sacrilegious.
shitty thing to say about
It's
Bobby Guido.
sacrilegious if we're like, oh, George Carlin was bullshit, man. Daniel Tosh totally has it figured out. Like, that's bullshit and that's sacrilegious. But other than that, the things we've been saying, I don't think are like I still think we could be rolling with the oldies, you know, as long.
But okay, so hypothetically, someone like George Carlin will have stand-up that is still appreciated today, or at least hypothetically, because that's why he's still
There's relevancy.
that's why
today.
he is what's the term when like you know someone's name inside your household name? That's why he's still a household name, right?
Yeah. What's the term for when you know someone's name inside your household? They're like,
I got you. Whereas I think the meat, at least when I had this idea in mind, the meat of it was that we would be that it is comedy that doesn't really make sense to today, or doesn't like that doesn't make us laugh right now. And I feel, and granted, maybe we won't laugh at old comedy by, you know, household name comedians from the 80s, 70s, 60s, but I think that chance becomes smaller if they are those household name comedians.
I think.
Did that make sense? Did that come across straight?
Yeah, it does come across straight, as in like the appeal is maybe the like absurdity, the little nuggets we might dig up. Like if we listen to like George Carlin, it'll be more of like an earnest review for whoever the fuck wants to hear our opinion on it. But if we actually dig up something that is
that's a better way of putting it for sure. I'm trying to avoid it from being just a review. There's way better people to do a review of something than us.
I know that it sounds like a cop-out, but really, like, we don't have a big enough sample size, in my opinion, to determine the validity of the segment, is the first thing I would say. Like, we listened to 2 bits. We talked half over one of them, and then we listened to the full bit of another one, and then we said,
one do you think
so
went
what
better?
do you think about the segment? And then you said, so which one do you think went better? Like, I just don't think, like, that's
A
not
or B. Just pick
if
A
we
or
were
B.
scientists, it's not a scientifically variable
If we were doing a
sample
third
size.
one, which one would you want to do?
I don't know which ones.
You wouldn't be able to make a decision? So
like based, would I
if
want
we
to
listen
do
to a
one
third
more
bit,
like the first bit
or the
more
second
like
one,
the second bit?
If we were doing a third, which one would you lean towards?
Like,
You really have zero opinion?
I'm not saying I have. Let me think about it for a second, but I guess I'm just saying like any
I'm
opinion
leaning
would be
towards two.
circumstantial.
Yeah,
is what
yeah.
I'm saying. Yes.
No, that's no problem. I just want to know, okay, we're going to try to do this again, right? What are we going to do when we try to do it again? I think I'm leaning towards
What
two.
are we going to do when we try to do it again? I think we should listen to the whole bit in context to give it some, like, and we could include, like, I don't know what we need to do to make it, like, YouTubeable, but, like, I think that we should try our best to listen to the full bit in context and then give it its leeway so we can see, like, so we can really see the tonal things that way. Because if we interrupt with I wonder if he's going to take this bit this way, like, that's boring. I think if we
So
listen to the
full
whole bit and then comment on what it meant to us, that has more potential to be interesting.
Okay, so number 2.
Number 2.
Okay.
But not necessarily for the
I don't-
content. I feel like we were able to talk more about number 1. So in that sense, number 1 prompted more conversation, but I think the structure of number 2 was better.
It's hot as fuck in this room right now.
Very hot.
Jesus Christ. And like sweaty ass bangs over here. It's been a weird episode, Julian.
I think we don't, like, it has been kind of weird, but honestly, I will say, like, what is it? I don't know. We don't have to be so defensive with each other, you know? We can.
When have you felt defensive?
I haven't felt.
I only felt defensive
Don't sigh
when
like
I
we
flipped
don't
that
get
word.
to go home yet.
No, I'm not saying I didn't.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But, like,
Oh, the dirty look.
But,
I
like-
like your facial expressions, Lily. It's very fun.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
you have good facial expressions.
The fuck? I didn't say that. Okay, moving on.
But, like,
I can go first. The only time I felt defensive was when I flipped around "Women are the N-word of the world" and no one was like saying anything.
no, that's what I was kind of
like,
gonna
what the
say. It's
fuck,
like
you
my-
guys? And I had to pull your guys' teeth out for you essentially to say I wasn't wrong.
That's tough. That's a tough opinion.
It felt like you spoke backwards, like you were talking Yoda.
That's literally what I did.
No, but it didn't feel right. It felt weird.
Turn me on, dead
Dude.
man.
Women the N-word. Just like a racist Yoda, dude.
And that's the epoch of what we've gotten to. The conclusion you've all
I don't
been
know what
waiting
that word means.
for.
That means climax.
The gradual build to the climax of our evening was
Yoda's.
racist Yoda. Ladies and gentlemen.
When have you felt defensive,
When
Julian?
do I feel defensive? Like,
You mentioned that we don't have to be so defensive. Why are you?
I feel like sometimes I'm walking a weird line between more like what I am comfortable with, like, we're playing public entities right now. So with the reverence that we have
it's very
73
fun.
subscribers currently, we have 73 subscribers. We're playing at public figures right now. If we are play pretending public figures, then I don't think to play pretend public figures even have to be careful about exactly what they joke about. I don't necessarily think that there's any like moral failing, but I think too much ignorance and too much questioning can lead a conversation down a bad path, even if no one started on a bad path. So I would say my defensiveness is more at the idea. No, because it's
a hell of a preamble.
I statements, but like, I would say that my defensiveness is more targeted at the potential of something going off the rails or of someone being able to misinterpret something we're saying as not so good-natured or as laughing at what is a very serious struggle to them, when in reality, all I really want to do is like be silly. And obviously, like, I feel like controversial and like iffy topics come up, but
I don't think that's defensive. I think you're describing uncomfortable. Defensive is when you bite back at something because you feel like you need to, it's like defending yourself in a certain matter. Oh, I guess that's in the word being defensive. That's dumb to say. Jesus
I
Christ.
mean, if we're being like,
That's what he just did. Was he defended his feeling?
no, well, I'm with you in the sense. I guess we're talking
No,
about
he
like,
just. That's not what you said.
well, we're talking about like a
I don't think you were
personal
overly
defensiveness
defensive.
versus like, I appreciate that, but like I would say I personally get the most
I think you stand up
defensive-
for what you believe in, but that doesn't mean you're defensive.
I personally get the most defensive, just on a completely different note. I think I personally get the most defensive when I feel like the joke is like out of my control in a weird way, which is something to look at, you know, but I
Defensive
feel like
when the joke
I
is out of
tend to
your
get the
control.
most defensive when someone's like, like, for example, I remember one time, like, I was driving and I, like, hit the bump. Like, I was parking and you and Levy were in the car. And I hit, like, the front bumper of my car against the curb. And you both, like, cringed. And you were like, oh. And it wasn't even, like, a bad thing. But I was just like, what? The joke is that I'm stupid now? The joke can't be that I'm stupid.
I don't
And
feel like you weren't
that's
you weren't
when I
the
get
butt of
the
any
most
joke,
defensive.
though. When were you the butt of a joke?
I don't feel like I am the butt of jokes. I feel
So
like
then how
when
does that fit into this
I'm not
podcast?
accusing anyone of making me the butt of the joke so much as I am acknowledging my own defensiveness when I perceive that my maybe stupidity, maybe lack of
Oh, you're
coordination
talking about
is
what you
going to
said.
be the butt of the
Got
joke.
you. Okay, no, that just clicked for me.
I'm
Okay, no,
talking
yeah,
more about,
I
like,
do know that
how I
about you. You're
feel in that
good. You're good. You're good.
That's what makes me feel defensive.
Okay, for sure.
Oh, no, you're good.
She's like, God, Julian, can we? I'm giving you shit. I'm joking right now. This is her way of saying, let's get the fuck out of here. She's like, dude, my ass is falling asleep on this
my
fucking
leg
chair.
muscles so sore. No,
Is that
Lily
chair
has
uncomfortable?
Totally woken up like
Is that chair uncomfortable?
No, I've just been waking up with Charlie horses and
you know. Lily has
that's not
woken
good.
up like once a night for the past 5 nights with a Charlie horse.
it's just been
That's upsetting.
I thought a Charlie horse is when you got socked in the thigh.
no, it's just a muscle cramp. in the leg.
Okay, maybe getting socked in the thighs.
Or is
gives
it
you a muscle
both?
Have you
cramp.
ever
maybe-
like woken up like
I've gotten
your leg-
punched in the thigh.
Your leg just fucking hurts like you pulled a muscle and you
By
felt
which
nothing?
older brother? I'm sorry.
Okay.
Uncle.
Your life is great then.
yeah, right. Let's talk about your. No, never mind. I was gonna allude to something we talked about
Let's
a
talk
couple
about
episodes
your
ago.
mental health.
yeah. Let's talk about all of our fucking illnesses. Yeah, I know it's getting late. But this was an important conversation. We're gonna have this conversation anyway, so we might as well fucking hit the record button. It's whatever.
Yeah, and it's whatever for the people who fell asleep watching the beginning of the video or some other video that for some reason they were like, hey, if you like
We're essentially just forcing Poo Crafter to listen to us dissect an episode of the show. But no, we felt it was clunky. It's interesting to like, what the fuck made that so clunky? And okay, I see where you got defensive there.
Who is not
does seem-
Sebastian?
Who is not Sebastian?
Who's? Tell us who you are.
No, don't tell us who you are. Don't even give us a hint. I don't want to know.
Don't even give us a hint. But like, let us figure it out. Say like warmer, or just comment warmer or colder each episode.
That's not gonna work. We're just gonna guess
fan.
people from high school. It wouldn't be called. He did YouTube
Just
videos.
the start of every episode is us listing off 7 or 8 people from high school.
Is gonna dox ourselves? You looked like you had something to say. No, cool.
All right.
You want to say something, and then the candle will fucking cut you off.
I like my favorite.
Don't stop, we go straight to the top. Don't stop, we go straight to the top. I am that dude. I am that dude. I am that dude. I am that dude. I am that. Don't stop, we go straight to the top. Don't stop, we go straight to the top. And we all going together.